Good morning. Namaste to each of you. Thank you for joining me this morning to honor your mind and your body and your spirit. Let's just take a moment to become present. So find a nice, comfortable seated position where your back, spine, and back of your neck is nice and long, your chest is open, allowing nice passageway for your breath to come in and out. And close your eyes and soften your thoughts. Soften your eyes. Soften your shoulders. Soften your heart. Observe your breath as it is, soft and gentle, breathing life into you with each inhale and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present, returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes now. For this morning's intention, you may think of a positive word or phrase to have with you on your mat and perhaps carry with you throughout the day. This morning's intention, we're going to talk about the new Ayurvedic season that we're in. Last October, we talked about Ayurveda a little bit, and we were in the Vata season, and we're now into a new season. So as a refresher, Ayurveda is an ancient health system. It's over 5,000 years old that focuses on three doshas, which are energies: the Vata, the Pitta, and the Kapha. All three energies are present in each of us in varying levels, determined by our mind, our body, and our spirit. And last October, I sent out a link for quizzes if you want to know which dosha is more prominent in you. These quizzes help to figure that out. And the goal of the science is to keep you in balance. So through what you eat and what you wellness routines that apply to your physical and your emotional well-being, you can become in balance. So the idea with Ayurveda is to offset or balance out your doshas. So if, well, we'll get into that in a sec. So with the seasons, it's the same thing. Doshas are applied to other things, and the dosha seasons have the same names: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And from late winter to early spring, we're in the Kapha season. So from the end of February or mid-February to May, we're in Kapha season. And Kapha season is governed by the elements of the earth and the water. And its characteristics are cold, wet, and heavy. And us being in New England, we can relate to that. I think if you live in Florida, it's a little harder to relate to, but that's the characteristics. So when you think of Kapha season, and again, being in New England, we have a real intimate knowledge of Kapha season, which we call mud season. So think, if you can't remember the word Kapha, think mud season. And to create balance in the Kapha season, you would do things that are opposite in nature to the cold, wet, and heavy. They should be stimulating, energizing, warming, and detoxifying. So eating foods that are bitter, which if you pay attention to the seasons, we're coming into asparagus and spinach season. Anything that's leafy greens are considered in the bitter category. Astringent legumes are in that category, and pungent and spices are in that category. So I'm going to post a link at the when I post the class to a recipe that is a warm lentil salad with lemon and greens, which is a real perfect Kapha type of meal to have right now. And so for our pranayama, we're going to do a pranayama that is considered very energizing. We've done this before. It's the Kapalabhati pranayama, which is a energizing and brings lightness and clarity to mind and cleanses the lungs and increases circulation. So normally when we're breathing, our inhale is the more active inhale and our exhale is more passive. It's just kind of like your energy spent doing the inhale of breathing in, and then you just kind of relax when you do the exhale. So in Kapalabhati, it gets flipped. It's actually the opposite, balancing. So the exhale is the more active, and you do that with your tummy. And the sound actually kind of comes from your nose. So it's, if you can hear this, it's, and at the same time, what I'm doing with my stomach, which I don't know if I can come up so that you can see it. Yep. So you're breathing in kind of passively in your inhale, and your exhale is the active part. So let's just try practicing that for a few moments. Again, it's energized, brings energy to your body, lightness and clarity to the mind. So you may want to be careful, it might get you a little lightheaded, and cleanses the lungs and improves your circulation. So let's start and do just a few moments. We could do 5 Kapalabhati breaths and then pause, and then 5, or whatever is comfortable for you. So let's begin. And one last one. Very good. And so then for our meditation today, there's a mudra that we've used before. It's becoming kind of an all-purpose mudra. You know, we're used to the Gyan mudra, which you see often when you're meditating. But this is the Prana mudra that has so many benefits. It improves your immune system. It came under energizing, bringing together the earth, water, and fire elements, which this is the water, earth, and fire elements. So bringing your hands out and bringing your pinky and your ring finger to your thumb and extending your index finger and your middle finger, that's the Prana mudra. And again, it has boost immune system, and it's energizing. It actually has good benefits for eyes, and there's quite the shopping list of benefits for this particular mudra. So let's take a few moments to meditate, and you can use the Prana mudra if you wish, or the gyan, or just place your hands gently on your lap. That would be fine too. And we'll take a few minutes to meditate, and I'll meet you on the mat. Alrighty, we're ready to begin our asana practice. And again, because we're focusing on Kapha season, or mud season as we'll know it, as Vermonters, we want to incorporate poses that are offsetting to the wet, cold, and heavy. So we're going to create space and stimulation and warmth and buoyancy, hopefully today. So in your comfortable seated position, you bring your fingertips out to the sides on your mat. We'll start with some sun breaths. So inhale, bringing your arms up. And exhale, bringing your arms down. And try to synchronize your inhales and exhales to your arm movement. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And one last time, inhale, exhale down. We're going to do some sun twists. So we're going to inhale, bringing our arms up. Twist to the left side of your mat and bring your right hand down to your left knee. Your left hand goes behind your hips. And then inhale, bring both hands back up overhead. And exhale, twisting to the right side of your mat, bringing your left hand to your right knee and your right hand behind your hips. Keeping your back spine nice and straight and long. Inhale, lifting your arms up overhead. And exhale, twisting to the left, bringing your right hand to your knee. Inhale, lift arms up overhead. Twist to the right side, bringing your left hand to your right knee, right hand behind your hips. And one last time each side. So inhale, sweeping up overhead, twisting to the left, bringing your hand down. And then inhale, come back up, twist to the right, and bringing your hands back down. And returning back to center. Oscar's having an issue today. He really wants to be out here. He's like, I've been hearing him walking around back there saying, I want in. So let's do some chest openers. So inhaling, bringing your hands to the back behind your hips and interlacing your fingers. Relax your shoulders and roll them back. And then inhale, bringing your hands away from your hips, extending them out as far as is comfortable. And then exhale, bring your interlaced fingers to the right hip. Inhale, extend them back. And exhale, bring your fingers over to the left hip. Inhale, extend them back. Exhale, bring them over to the right hip. Inhale, extend them back. And bring them over to the left hip. Inhale, extend them back. And one last time, exhale, bring them to the right hip. Inhale, extend them back. And exhale, bring them over to the left hip. And release. Bringing your fingertips up to shoulder height. You're going to start by making small circles and go clockwise. Just gentle little circles. And then as you breathe, increase the size of your circles. And then get to the point where they're as big as you could possibly make them. And then bring them back down to your side. Just let them relax for a moment. And then we're going to do counterclockwise. And we're going to start with the big and work our way to the small. So bringing them back as big as possible. And then try slowly to make smaller and smaller circles. Until you're making itty bitty circles and just kind of keep going for a moment. And then release your hands back down to the mat. And if you're on a blanket or a cushion, you may want to remove it. We're going to roll down on our back. So you can roll down slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Or express method. Bring your knees to your chest and give them a nice gentle hug. You can rock back and forth, give your back a massage. Then interlacing your fingers, wrap them around your left knee and extend your right leg all the way down to the mat. Toes on both feet are flexed up toward the sky. Your lower back is reaching toward the mat, nice and snug against the mat. And energize your legs, just kind of put energy and pressure into them. Get them stimulated. And then bring your right leg back to over your chest and give your legs a nice hug. And we'll do that on the other side. So wrap your hands around your right knee. Extend your left leg fully down to the mat. Toes are flexed up to the sky. Activate your legs. Just kind of put some energy into them. Lower back is reaching toward the mat. And then bring the left leg back up and give Both legs a nice hug. Bring both feet down to the mat and have them land about hip width apart. Your knees should be parallel to one another, and place your hands so your palms are on the mat, face down. We're going to do a few supine cat-cows for our cat-cow today. So think of, with the Kapha element, Kapha season, you think water and earth. So we're going to round our back. So we're creating like a bowl of water in our lower tummy area. And then we're going to round or tilt our pelvis down and empty out that bowl of water so it spills out. So again, round your back, so you're creating that bowl. On the inhale, you're bringing your lower back to the mat. And then tilt your pelvis upward so that you're arching your back and draining that bowl of water out. So inhale, round your back, creating the bowl. Exhale, arch your back, emptying the bowl. Inhale, round the back, create the bowl. Arch your back, tilting your pelvis down, emptying the bowl. And just continue on at your own pace, synchronizing your breath to the movement. And then when you're ready, come back to neutral back. And keep that position. And we're going to do a few bridge poses, and not too aggressive. We're just going to focus on lifting up slightly and then rolling back down our spine. So make that bowl with your tummy, bringing that bowl up, and then push down into your feet so that you're lifting your hips up toward the sky. And just come up whatever's comfortable height for you. Hands are pressed, palms down into the mat to support your movement. Knees are parallel to one another. They shouldn't be splayed out. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, roll down your back. And then create that bowl again. Push down in your feet, lift your hips up into bridge pose. And then slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Create that bowl, push down with your feet, keeping your knees parallel, lifting your hips up to the sky. And then slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. And we'll do this one last time. Create the bowl. Push down into your feet, lifting your hips up. Come up into bridge. And then roll down one vertebrae at a time. And when you've landed on the mat, bring your knees to your chest and give them one nice hug. And then we'll roll up. So you can bring your hands behind your knees and start to roll. And then when you're ready, roll up. Or if another way to come up is more comfortable for you, you can do that. And come up into tabletop. So tabletop, our hands are right below our shoulders, wrists right below the shoulders, fingers are spread out. Our weight is distributed evenly into each hand. And you're pushing down into the hands so you can create some space between your shoulders and your ears. So you're not hunched down like that. Push down into the hands to create that space. Knees are right below your hips. Navel's tucked to the spine to create a nice flat back. And bring your knees together underneath you so that their knees are touching. We're going to extend our right leg back, just pointing the toes, tip of your toe on the mat, and just focusing on being equally, just have your weight equally distributed in your hands. Bring your right leg rather, to the left side of your mat, so it's kind of extended outside of the mat. And then slowly turn your head to the left to look at your right foot. And then bring that leg back to center underneath you, knees touching. We'll do that with the left leg. So extend your left leg out, toes touching the mat. Weights evenly distributed in the front. And focus on that part. And then take your left foot, bring it to the right side of the mat so it's extending outside the mat. And again, focusing on having equally distributed weight in the front. Slowly turn and look at your left foot. And then bring that back to center. We'll do that one more time on each side. So extend the right foot back, toes touching the mat. Check on your alignment in the front. Bring the right foot over to the left side of the mat, extending it outside the mat. And slowly turn your head to the left to look at your foot. And then bring that back to center. And extend your left foot. Bring that left foot to the right side of the mat, extending it outside. Check on your alignment and then slowly look to your back foot. And then bring that leg back to center. And we're going to do a few bird dogs here. So your knees are together. Extend your right leg up at hip height. Extend your left arm up at shoulder height. Inhale, pointing your toes to the back of the mat. Exhale, flexing your foot, pointing your toes to the mat. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. One last time. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. And bring your hand and leg back down. Take a deep breath. And then we'll do that on the other side. Lift your left leg up hip height. And focus on distributing your weight equally in the front. And then lift your right arm up. So point, inhale, flex, exhale, point, inhale, flex, exhale, point, inhale, flex, exhale, point, inhale, flex, exhale, point, inhale, flex, exhale. One last time, point, inhale, and flex, exhale, bring everything back down. Then we'll bring our hips to our ankles and stretch our arms out for child's pose. And inhale, coming back up to tabletop. We're going to tuck our toes under and walk our hands back till we're on our tippy toes. And just take a moment here to see if you can balance on your tippy toes, bringing your hands up, Anjali Mudra, hands to heart center, straightening your back up, crown of your head reaching toward the sky. And bring your hands back down to the mat and push down in your toes and lift up to mountain. We'll go through our mountain essentials. Big toes are pointing to the long edge of your mat. Legs are nice and straight, strong and active. Knees are gently bent. Navel's tucked to your spine, creating that almost bowl, but it's not tipping the water out. It's kind of tucking the back of your tailbone down and pulling your tummy in. Shoulders are nice and relaxed and rolled back. Spine is nice and straight and long. Top of your head's reaching to the sky. We'll sweep our hands up overhead, big inhale. And exhale, forward fold, bending at the knees very generously, bringing your hands to the mat, to the floor. We'll just check in here in a moment. See if you have any tension today. Send one of your deep inhales and exhales to that tension. Then inhale, sweeping your hands up to your shins, straightening out your back to a flat back, half forward fold. Chest is open, heart is open, gaze is forward. Then exhale, bringing your head down toward the mat. And you can keep your knees bent here, whatever's comfortable for you. Any of the forward folds. And then sweeping your hands up with a big inhale, bringing your hands up overhead. And we'll come up onto our tippy toes. And our usual palm tree, today let's think about the lotus flower. And lotus flower has its roots in mud. It comes up through the water, woo! Comes up through water and up to the surface, and it blooms this pure, pristine flower. So stretch from the mud all the way up through the water, stretch as high up as you can go, and then bloom at the top, and then come back down on your heels. Exhale, forward fold, come back down. Again, bend your knees as much as is comfortable for you to support your lower back. And inhale, sweep your hands halfway up to your shins, half forward fold. You have a flat back. And exhale, forward fold, bringing the crown of your head down toward the ground. And inhale, sweeping your hands all the way up, overhead. Keeping them up overhead, bring your right hand down to your right thigh. And then slide that right hand down toward your knee. Supported side stretch. Inhale, come back up. And bring the left hand down and slide that down toward your left knee. And bring that back up. And your right hand down. Slide it toward your knee. And bring that back up one last time with the left. Left hand down, sliding it toward your knee. And then bring your hands back up Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, half forward fold, flat back, open chest, open heart. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping your hands all the way up overhead. And bring your hands back down. And we're going to do something energizing. It's part of a morning routine for energy yoga. There's an energy medicine yoga movement. There's all sorts of types of styles of yoga, and this is one that we'll explore in a full class at some point in the future. But it's a crossover, so you lift your left knee and tap it with your right hand, and then release that. Lift your right knee, tap it with your left hand, and release that. So start the motion now. You're just alternating hand to knee. And what it does is it activates both hemispheres of your brain, both sides of your brain, stimulating both sides. And you can go as fast or as slow as you want. And then slow down and come to a stop. And then sweep your hands up overhead again. Big inhale and exhale, forward fold. One last forward fold this way. Inhale, halfway up, half forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. Then inhale, sweeping your hands up from the floor, up overhead. And then bringing your fingertips to your hips. Placing your fingertips down. Shoulders are relaxed and rolled back. Chin is tucked to your chest. And then drop your shoulders back for a supported back bend. And remember to breathe. And then come back up. Inhale, sweeping your hands up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Bringing your hands to the mat, extending both feet to the back of the mat. Come into plank pose. Wrists are right below the shoulders. Legs are active and strong, pushing the heels to the back of the mat. Navel's tucked to the spine, elevating your hips slightly. We're just going to lift our right leg up off the mat and cross it over our left leg, touching our toes down to the mat, and then lift it up and come back. And we'll do that with the left leg, so lift it up, cross it over the right leg, toe touch the mat, and come lift back up, and then bring them back to center. One more time, lift up, cross over the left leg, touching your toe down to the mat, lift your leg up, come back, lift your left leg up, cross over the right, and come back to center. Then we'll bring your knees to the mat, and chest and chin. Come down to the mat. Bring your hands along your sides with the palms facing up. Resting your chin on the mat. Then lift the right leg up and bring that back down for half lotus. Lift the left leg up and bring that back down. And then lift both legs up and both arms up if you're able to, full lotus. And then bring both legs and arms back down to the mat. And just turn your head to one side and rest for a moment. And bring your hands right below your shoulders. So actually your fingertips are right below your shoulders. Elbows are tucked to your ribs. We're going to push down into our hands, gently arching our back up to cobra. And pushing down should create that space between your shoulders and your ears. So you're not like that. You're pushing down, so you're creating that space. Then tuck your toes under and come up into downward dog. We'll pedal out here for a moment. Hands are spread, fingers are spread wide apart. Arms are straight. Chest is reaching toward your thighs. Hips are up to the sky. Legs are strong and bending the knees. If you're not pedaling, please keep your knees bent just to support your lower back. And then we're going to bring our right knee to our right elbow. So inhale, bring your right knee to your right elbow. And then back again, pedal out. Bring your right knee to your right elbow, pushing off with your left toes. And back to downward dog. And then the next time we're going to actually bring our right knee to the mat right behind our right wrist. So inhale, bring your right knee to the mat right behind your right wrist. We're going to slide our left leg out and come into pigeon pose. So we're going to stay in an upright pigeon pose. So if you are able to walk your hands back and create that puffy chest of the pigeon, that'd be great. And then walk your hands forward again. Tuck your toe under, your left toe under, and come back up to downward dog. And walk your feet up to your hands, coming into forward fold. And then inhale, sweeping your hands up overhead. Palms together, hands come to heart center. And then we'll do this on the other side. So inhale, sweeping your hands up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Place both hands on the mat. Extend both feet back to plank. We're going to lift our left leg up. Be sure your navel's tucked to your spine, elevating your hips slightly. Don't have your tummy sinking down toward the mat. So lift your left leg up, cross it over the right. Just touch your toe down and bring it back. Lift your right leg up, cross it over the left. Touch toe down, come back. One more time each side. Left leg up, cross over, touch down, and come back. Right leg up, cross over, touch, and then come back. Then bring your knees to the mat, your chest to the mat, and your chin to the mat. And turn your head to the opposite side as it was before. And relax just a moment. Bring your chin to the mat, so you're gazing ahead. With your hands alongside of you, palms are up. We're going to lift our right leg up, bring it back to the mat. Lift our left leg up, bring it back to the mat. That's half locust. Lift the right leg up again, bring it back to the mat. Lift the left leg up, bring it back to the mat. And then lift both legs up, and if able to, both arms up for full locust. And then bring everything back down. Bring your hands just under your shoulders. Elbows are tucked toward your ribs. Gently push down, lifting your chest up to cobra. And tuck your toes under and come up into downward dog. And we'll pedal out here for a moment. And then bring your left knee to your left elbow, inhaling, pushing off with your right toes. And then back again, downward dog, pedal out. Inhale, lift your left knee, left elbow. Come back, downward dog, pedal out. And the third time, we're going to come into pigeon pose again. So you're going to bring your left knee to the mat, right behind your left wrist. And slide your right leg out and down the mat. And you can stay here for pigeon pose. You can walk your hands back to get that puffy pigeon chest. And then walk your hands forward, tuck your toe under, and come back up to downward dog. And slowly walk your feet up to your hands. Coming into forward fold, then come up into mountain pose. And we'll rest here for a moment. So inhale, sweep your hands up again. Exhale, forward fold. Bringing your hands to the mat. We extend just the right leg back for runner's lunge. Plant your right hand to the mat, sweeping your left hand up to the sky for runner's lunge with a twist. Keep your back leg nice and active, pushing the heel to the back of the mat. And then bring your left hand down. You come up to a high lunge. So you get comfortable here. Just kind of wiggle your feet so you feel comfortable. And then come up halfway so you're on your knee. And then come up as high up as you can. You may want to bring your back foot just a little closer. Just find a spot where you feel stable. Then we'll sweep our hands out in front. Straighten our front leg as we sweep our hands back to airplane arms. Sweep our hands forward, bending the knee forward. Sweeping our hands back, straightening out our front leg. Sweeping our hands forward, bend the knee. Sweeping our hands back to airplane arms, straightening out the front leg. And then back, sweeping them front and bringing them both down to the mat. And then bring your right foot up to meet your left foot into a forward fold. And then come back up into mountain. Hands to heart center. And then we're going to do warrior three. So that same feeling, you're going to extend your right foot back ever so slightly, maybe about a foot and a half back. Left knee is bent. So you're in that high, modified high lunge. So with your front knee bent, pivot your waist and start to lift your back leg up, keeping your front knee bent, using airplane arms. Come into a warrior three with airplane arms. And then bring both feet back down to the mat. Well, your right foot down. The other one was down. So inhale, sweeping our hands up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Extending your left leg back, coming into runner's lunge. Back heels pushing toward the back of the mat. Knees right over your ankle. And then plant your left hand into the mat. Sweep your right hand up to the sky. And then back down again. And then find your nice, secure, stable footing here. Pushing down in the front foot, come up halfway to your knee. And then come all the way up. Again, if you keep your knee bent, and if you want to decrease the space a little bit, you do that if it's more stable for you. And then put our hands forward, knees bent in the lunge position, and then straightening out our leg, front leg, sweeping our hands back to airplane arms, sweeping them forward, bending the knee, sweeping them back, straightening the knee, sweeping them forward, bending the knee, and sweeping them back, airplane arms, straightening the knee. And then sweep them forward, bring them back down to the mat, back to runner's lunge. And then bring your left foot up to meet your right foot into forward fold. And then sweep your hands all the way up overhead. Palms together, hands to heart center. And we'll do warrior three on the other side. So your left foot will go back about 1.5 feet. The ball of your foot, left foot's resting on the mat. Front leg, the knee is bent. And we pivot our waist, pushing off with our back foot and lifting up our left foot, airplane arms into warrior three or airplane pose. And then come back down again. Bring our toes out to the edge of the mat. Pinky toes are out, heels are 45-degree angle in. And we're gonna lower our hips. Coming down to the mat into wide-legged squat. Hands are together in Anjali Mudra. And you can slowly bring them down toward the mat to create a little bit more space in your hips. And then we'll come down to the mat and we'll roll down on our back again, either one vertebrae or express method, whichever works for you. I'm going express. And bring your feet down to the mat, a little wider than hip width apart. Knees are parallel. Back of your lower back should be getting snug to the mat, creating that bowl of water. Bring your arms out to shoulder height. We're going to do a few somatic windshield wipers. So drop your knees to the right side of your mat. And then turn your head slowly to the left and have your left palm facing up toward the sky. Your right palm is facing down toward the earth. Then inhale, bring your legs back to center, bring your head back to center. Bring both palms so they're facing down to the earth. And then drop your knees to the left side, turning your head slowly to the right while you turn your right palm up to the sky, keeping your left palm down toward the earth. So you're kind of doing this flipper thing. So again, Inhale, bring your knees back to center, head back to center. Bring both palms down to the earth. Drop your knees to the right. Turn your head to the left, flipping your left palm up to the sky. Inhale, come back up. Knees and head center, then drop your knees to the left. Turn your head to the right, flipping your right palm up. We'll just do a few more of these at your pace. Kind of inhale, come back up. Exhale, lowering the knees, turning the head, flipping the palms. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, lower, turn your head, flip your palms. Nice, smooth movement. Inhale back up and exhale down, turning your head, flipping your palm. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. And then come back up to the inhale, so everything's facing up. And prepare yourself for Shavasana. Stretching your body out, relaxing it, letting any tension that may be left, just let it go. Feet are flopped open. Hands are diagonally away from your body, palms facing up. Just inhale, and then with each exhale, feel that you're drifting deeper and deeper into your mat, like it's a cloud. Relaxing your shoulders. Relaxing your face. Placing a smile upon your lips. So in honor of Kapha season, or as we Vermonters will call it, mud season, I'm going to read a couple of verses from Robert Frost's poem, Two Tramps in Mud Time. The sun was warm, but the wind was chill. You know how it is with an April day. When the sun is out and the wind is still, you're 1 month on in the middle of May. But if you so much as dare to speak, a cloud comes over the sunlit arch. A wind comes off a frozen peak, and you're 2 months back in the middle of March. A bluebird comes tenderly up to a light and turns to the wind to unruffle a plume. His song so pitched as not to excite a single flower as yet to bloom. It is snowing a flake, and he half knew winter was only playing possum. Except in color, he isn't blue, but he wouldn't advise a thing to blossom. The water for which we may have to look in summertime with a witching wand, in every wheel ruts now a brook, in every print of a hoof a pond. Be glad of water, but don't forget the lurking frost in the earth beneath that will steal forth after the sun is set and show on the water its crystal teeth.